Farmers, are we ready for the next session? For those who are outside, you need to come in very fast. Especially women, where are you? They need to come and hear us, isn't it? Let's let them hear. Can they hear us? Men, where are you? Where are you? We need you in the house. We are getting... Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. It's super exciting. Thank you for coming back. We have a short while together now, and so we want to maximize our time. Across the world, women farmers are producing food, they're managing resources, they're strengthening communities, they're adapting to climate challenges, and they're leading the heartbeat of nourishment in communities. And as we mark the International Year of the Woman Farmer, we have an opportunity to move beyond recognizing women farmers, but to examine, better support their mission to a sustain. To guide us through this discussion, I'm pleased to welcome Andreas Quiring. Some welcome, over to you.
Yeah, my name is Andreas Quiring. Maybe 1-2 sentences towards Andreas Hermes Academy. We are a capacity building institution, other farmer organizations. How to do organizational development. It's an important topic of the year. Maybe it's a few of you know a strong woman farm leader. So please stand up, everyone who knows a strong women farm leader. Have two of them on leader. Have two of them on stage. So I'd like to invite on stage Valerie Otier. But she's also serving. But she's also serving for the discussion. So I would Angelina. She's a FAO Kenya representative. And we have Krista Harden. She is from the US and she is responsible CEO and president of the US Dairy Export Council. Welcome, Krista. So I will take the seat next to you. Thank you that you are here. Paul described already briefly, so what are the topics we are talking about? So we use and resilient food systems. If you don't know, you will hear the proof of concept, but strategic and so please give her applause. To women farm leaders who start our intervention minutes, give us a perspective from Kenya, from all your experience. You're working already 4 or 5 years with Kenya, and you're a farmer yourself. So in this process,
cities are there. What then do we need to do? We just need strategies that in a woman farmer. That's what we need to do. And in order to Mwiga area program in Njeri, is it Njeri County? That's what I heard. I'm looking at a young farmer here who wants to do something, but Beatrice's father went through this process and it changed his mindset and allocated a piece of land to Beatrice to start. She doesn't even have financing, startup capital to start her poultry value chain. World Vision then came in with access to finance projects. And we begin with what you have. Organizing women in groups of 15 to 25 members to save together. We call this approach savings for transformation, because at the end of it, we want to see a transformation whereby members are not just borrowing for household consumption, but they are borrowing to invest in their business enterprises. Beatrice became a member of a saving group. That was her first point of contact, to get a loan from a saving group, because members lend to each other. They saved together and they lent amongst each other. She got a loan. She bought 10 chicks to start her poultry value chain, which was something fundamental, because in a saving group, they are trained leadership skills, how to run a group. They are trained on gender inclusive financial literacy. They are trained on women economic empowerment. They're even trained on budgeting for child well-being, because we are talking of a household here. But then the challenge is, when she bought 10 chicks, she didn't have knowledge on how to do poultry value chain as a business. In her mind, if she has 10 chicks, that is it. She raises the chicks and then sells at the market. But all her 10 chicks, they died because she didn't have that knowledge. And that brings me to the third layering. You have done empowered worldview mindset. You have organized them into a saving group. They now have the first access to finance. Now they need the knowledge, market knowledge access, right? We call it the inclusive market knowledge and access approach, whereby we are going to the same farmer to train them on market knowledge. And we are training them on 5 pillars on market knowledge. If they want to take a route of becoming a cooperative or a producer group as a saving group, they get trained on producer group formation and coordination. They also get trained on entrepreneurial skills and financial literacy. They get trained on sustainable production and environmental sustainability, and they're trained on mindset and behavior change for the business. But as their vision continues to grow, they need access to finance. So Vision Fund, a microfinance arm of World Vision, then comes in to offer access to loans, what we call finance for accelerating savings for transformation, which is a loan given to a saving group because they are already in a group which is serving as a collateral. We have another product for producer groups called Credit Enterprise. Tomorrow we have a detailed session. You can come and listen more. So that is the fourth pillar on access to affordable finance. But we are also digitizing. We heard about the time limitations, right? As a woman, we are digitizing our savings groups, working with Dreamstart Labs to ensure that all their records are digital, which actually helps the microfinance to look at their information on a digital platform, which groups are ready to get a microfinance. We are digitizing the producer groups through partnerships with Farm Concern International. For example, we are digitizing all the trainings on the value chain. So they are also able to engage directly with the suppliers and the buyers and be able to do gross margin analysis themselves. And with MasterCard, we are also partnering on the offline payment systems as well. So you can see that it is integrated. The same farmer, woman farmer, integrated, layered, and sequenced approaches. Mostly if we undertake siloed approaches, we'll keep on playing the snakes and ladders game. We know it, right? You play it, you get bitten by a snake, you go down to the bottom of the economic ladder. And year after year, we'll be speaking about the same challenges. So this is my challenge. Let's package the interventions in a layered, sequenced, integrated manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelina, also for showing us the whole issue starting from the household. Now we go in the other direction. Farai, from your experience as FAO representative for Kenya, FAO has always a good data set, knows what really happens. So looking from that perspective, what are most proven ways of work?
Thank you.
And even if it's not fair, but I would still ask you also to stay limited in time so we still have enough time for discussion.
Okay, thank you very much, Andreas, and good afternoon, everyone. Let me start off by saying that FAO positions gender equality as a central pillar in achieving global food security, improved nutrition, and sustainable agricultural development. And in this, I'm going to just maybe limit my intervention, Andreas, to three key areas that FAO is intervening in terms of these issues that are being brought to sharp relief and being highlighted through this International Year of the Woman Farmer. So the first level is the policy space. FAO supports our member states in terms of developing the relevant policies. And then supporting the implementation thereof. And then internally also, we have our own internal gender policy that also obliges us to make sure that we are walking the talk and not just, preaching to other people and not doing practicing what we preach. And I'll come to concrete examples very shortly in the Kenyan context. And then, of course, evidence generation that you've alluded to, and publishing the data and information that can equally inform practices, but also inform policy formulation within the same member states in terms of gender action. And I would like to say, for example, one of the key publications that we produce at global level is the status of women in agri-food systems. And just 2 months ago in April, working together with the University of Greenwich, as well as AWARD, we also published an Africa-specific status of women in agri-food systems in Africa. So this data then forms the evidential base for people to take action. And the third layer of our work in this space is around the programmatic space. Along to what other speakers have indicated, we are implementing a number of interventions, not only in Kenya, but everywhere where FAO is operating. And I would like to highlight specifically in Kenya, one of the key aspects or key interventions that we've been working on in terms of land governance. And it's operating in a number of counties in Kenya. And one of the starting points in terms of making sure that gender is mainstream, because we've been hearing a lot about how women are not owners of the land. They don't have title for the most part. So how do we bring women in to be title holders alongside, if they are married, alongside their spouses or in their own right? And so one of the key instruments we've done is to undertake very targeted analysis of the context of a particular community, so that we understand what are the dynamics, what are the systems at play, and where are the opportunities for making a difference. And then with that, then bring in the constitutional provisions and bring the two together, that understanding of the context of that particular community and the constitutional provisions of Kenya in terms of access to land, so that the messaging and the engagement is informed by the cultural context, the dynamics within that community. And we found that this has been quite effective in terms of changing mindsets. So these are just a few examples that I would like to highlight. But I think it's quite important that we collaborate and we partner so that we transform knowledge into real change, and making sure that as a global organization is very tempting to stay at that level. And even in a country context like Kenya, to stay at the national level, but not go down, as my sister to my left was saying just now, not going down to the very lowest level, to be able to understand and to translate that knowledge into something that is meaningful within that context. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Faraya. Now we have Krista Harden from the U.S. Dairy Export Council, and I have to say you're a role model yourself about of leadership, because when you were nominated, or you got CEO and president of this council, you were the first female in this role. That was 2021, so yes, not too far away. So I would like you to see on the one side the business perspective on agriculture, but also your experience about leadership. So how, because we started from the household and about the whole system, and now also looking on the leadership issue. What is necessary to change leadership to be more equal, to also show and incorporate all the different elements which agri-food systems have? Please.
Thank you. And I only have 2 to 3 minutes, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So that's a lot to unpack there, but I'll certainly try. I always introduce myself first, not with the title I have today or the work I've done when I was an official at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, but the daughter of farmers. of peanut farmers or groundnut farmers, you might say, in this country, in the southern part of the U.S. So that is what motivates me and drives me to make sure that women are counted, are heard, are part of leadership, because it goes back to my own parents. I'm not just my mother, but my daddy too, who insisted on making sure she got the credit she deserved and the decisions that were made on our farm, and still are, frankly. The other thing is the group that I represent, for those who don't know, consists of all the dairy farmers in the U.S. So every dairy farmer is a part of my membership, and also 130 plus companies. Our chairperson, the leader, the elected leader of the organization, is a female farmer, a dairy farmer from California. She farms with her brother. Her farm was started by her parents. Her mother's still alive, but her daddy's deceased. Her mother is an elderly woman with Parkinson. So Becky Nyman is her name, and her brother Brad farmed this organization. Farmed their family farm, and she leads our organization. So she is the one who makes the decisions for this very large, very important part of the dairy industry in the U.S. It says to me that it can happen, and it should happen. I'm not only the first female CEO of our group, she is the first female chair. But that's not why we're there. We're there because we're the right people. We're the right leaders at the right time. I'm very proud that I'm a female. I only have one sister. We will inherit our land one day. Nothing makes me sadder to think that there are women in this room or wherever there may be that won't have those rights. That's what's got to change. The other thing is really recognizing and appreciating the role of women in agriculture as farmers. When I was a deputy minister at the U.S. Department of Agriculture in another administration, by the way, about 10 years ago, I worked to make sure that our agriculture census counted the contributions of women. When I got there, believe it or not, in the United States of America, in a modern time, 10 years ago, women were not counted in the census. It was one person was the principal. And guess what? That was a man. 99.9% of the time. Few of the farms, it was, maybe a woman owner, a widow sometimes had owned the land, inherited the land from her spouse. But most of the time it was men. And when I asked if that could be changed, I was told, well, we've never done that. We never thought about that. Well, guess what? You need to think about it. And guess what? It can be done. When there is a will, when there is a collaboration and a partnership and an understanding, not just from the women, but also the men in their lives, that the women's contributions are valued or appreciated and should be counted. It starts there. I honestly believe the changes begin at home. They begin with a husband, a parent, a sibling, someone who says, my wife, my daughter, my sister, my niece, my granddaughter's contributions matter and should be seen and counted, and they can lead just like I can. So all of you at home, whether you have women in your life or you're a woman who have men in your life, that's the conversation you need to have at home. Who's going to take over this farm? Who should take over this farm? Who has the right to?
Thank you. Well, so now we have the whole perspective from the farm, from the family, and we see it's not a big difference if we look to Africa, to Europe, to North America. Probably it's similar in Asia. So let's get into the discussion of solutions. I see Kati already wanting to add or to question. Kati.
Yeah, just a little comment to what Christy said. This is exactly what I meant, that women can be lost to registers or without, if they are not recognized to be valuable enough to, so if there is only one person registered, it's usually a man. And that's where we can lose women. And then we also can lose the possibility to become a leader. Exactly.
Okay. Krista, direct, yeah?
Just add, in the U.S., when we started doing the census, it was not changing in the census. It was not like there were a whole new group of women who just started farming. It's just they had not been counted. And so they were already there. So our numbers skyrocketed in the US, the number of women farmers, not because of the new entree into the system. They were always there. We just overlooked them and didn't count them. So, well said.
Okay, and as you said, we have never done that. Well, it's time to do different. I look to Valerie. So what would you think we should do different tomorrow?
Well, it cannot be emphasized enough that there needs to be mind change. And there needs to be a shift in our mind change as people. And hearing from the conversations that we have already had, my mind is racing and thinking of whether we should start from studying human behavior to get to understand this issue of women, and then make a turnaround and do a complete mind shift on the same issue. So as Krista mentioned, it begins with us, really. And we need to have women as decision makers and not just as people to count as statistics.
Okay, women as decision makers. I would continue this question also to you. So there are women who are already decision makers. Should these women take more attention to promote other women? I would assume some may say, no, we don't need to look, and otherwise they would say just women take women. But to be honest, isn't that essential that women also make sure, well, there need be more women? So otherwise we will never get a change. What's your perspective on that? Should women promote other women and maybe prefer them with a negative aspect for the men?
I'm happy to jump in here because I do get criticized because I hire women. I hire the best people, absolutely the best person to do the job. A young woman is with me here today. I poached her from another group because she was the very best person to work for me. I want the very best. I want people who can multitask, who can make decisions, who can juggle everything in their lives, who are smart, who work harder because they have to. Because often their male counterparts have been giving something and these women have had to earn it in a hard way. Doesn't mean I don't hire men. I do have men on our staff, I promise you, and they're very, very good. They're the best in their jobs. But I never, ever look at a group of people to hire without it half at least being women. If someone asks me for recommendations for a new CEO role or another job in our industry, they get 10 women names who are very qualified. Of course, there'll be a man or two spattered in there if I have to. And I'm not against men. I'm married to one and love him very, very much. But he supports me and knows that if women are not bold and we are not brave and we do not stand out and we do not push and we do not help each other, we will not make progress at the strides we need to.
How do the others think about it?
Yeah, unpopular opinion. I think it's very easy to externalize the problem and place the burden on women that have reached a certain level to say it's your responsibility to open the door for other women. It's our responsibility. It's not a woman's responsibility alone. It's a whole of society responsibility. We have the data, we have the information, we know what needs to do. Let's act. Let's not look at the women alone that have made it up there to say, now open the door for others. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Valerie,
Okay,
and then Kati.
Just to cement what the previous speakers have mentioned, my belief is to lead is to serve. And what impact will you make as a leader, woman or man, if you did not at least mentor someone who looks up to you? If you did not walk someone through the things you walked through to get to where you are. So I believe that if you're in the position of a leadership, if you're in a leadership position, woman or man, then you have a duty to serve, and part of serving is mentorship to other younger people who are coming up.
Kati, and I would add a question to your answer you're giving. So we often see, okay, let's make, especially also in agriculture communities, let's make special groups for women. and maybe sometimes an opposite of, no, let's just be part of everything. So how do you combine? So the binding, let's say, binding together the women, and at the same time trying to be at the, let's say, with the others together and bringing your energy in.
Well, I would prefer more the diverse groups, so bringing everyone together. So then we won't isolate, for example, women isolate to do women things there. So that's what I have also faith that, oh, there's women's group, let them do the women's thing, because they are not interested on, you know, for example, on machinery or technology or economy. I would also come back to this diversity. Quite often we tend to, if we have a possibility to elect a leader or, as Christy said, hire someone, actually it's also, there is a research that it's quite usual that we tend to choose a person who's like us. And that's something what we have to pay attention to when you are recruiting, or if you are electing a person to a board, and if you are, for example, a member of the nomination committee, just focus on that you don't choose someone who is like you, but who brings diversity and has skills and knowledge, who really is needed in that position.
We talked already a lot of solutions. Also, our time is running. I would ask to have 2 ideas from the audience and from women. So 2 women who provide us an idea just in 2 sentences. So I see a woman over there and a woman over there. So please take one of the mics, not mine. And my wish is just do it in 2 sentences so that we can have also another perspective from that side. Stand up, please, so we can see you.
Good evening. My name is Catherine Shundu from Kenya, Kakamega County. Thank you so much for the panelists for the discussion around women in farming. I'm so much interested about this discussion, especially when somebody talked about 76% of women doing farming. And globally, we are 16% of persons with disabilities. And the discussion is excluding persons with disabilities in the whole concept. You realize that we also do farming, and without the discussion around this vulnerable group, we shall remain to be consumers, and we are actually not productive enough. Not because we can't, it's because the world is seeing us like that we need to consume and not to produce. So the whole concept, I wish that we also discuss, as we discuss women as one of the vulnerable groups, we also include the aspect of persons with disabilities to ensure that we are all productive and we are all productive and we are able to produce like any other category. And finally, I just say that about the package intentions. When we work on our packages, we should look into it carefully, that the role of a woman with a disability who can do farming in the society. What is the role of us? If we are left out, the issue of having sustainable food, resilient, might leave a long gap. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving us also this perspective. Not to forget that there are more people who are left out. So thank you for this perspective. And now we have another, please, short intervention from that side.
Thank you. I am Dr. Purity Morevi, a farmer and a researcher. Mine is just a comment and say that the team of panelists who have presented today have really touched women and Kenyan farmers. And I feel to tell the farmers that we are the solution to all the challenges and the problems that our country is facing today. We can be a solution if we implement what we've been told. Diversification of agriculture or farming. May I say that this is an area that will make us solve most of the problem. And we can see nowadays what is happening, and especially in African continent, Kenya not left out, is the scramble for limited resources in urban areas, scramble for urban tourism, scramble for wildlife tourism, scramble for beach tourism. But as farmers, imagine we can solve this problem if we diversify our farming activities and methods. I'm saying we can do this I'm saying this with a lot of confidence because I did my research, my PhD research on coffee tourism. And mine is just to try to commercialize the farmers' products, the farmers' activities, so that they can be a source of attraction to people who are scrambling to go to towns, to go to beaches, to go to see the animals. We can diversify. We can bring all these.
I would love to make it short, please.
So what I'm saying, if you look at a country, the developed countries, a case of Brazil, it has already, the government has already launched, it has launched the coffee tourism routes in all the owned and historic plantations.
Okay.
So
I would say thank you very much.
Mine, please.
I don't know to interrupt you. Plus,
thank you.
You showed us. Let's act. Let's implement and look on also the business perspective. Thank you very much also for your intervention. A big applause. Okay, now let's get to our final round. We've gone from the household, we have seen the different experience from the women farm leader, and we have also seen up till the issue of what is also done on leadership in business. So we are going to our final round, and the final round is, I would like every one of you to make two issues, to describe two issues. So the main takeaway from today, and the other one issue, this wish issue. So if you would have a wish free, if you could implement one change tomorrow, one change, what would it be? So can I start with you, Krista? So main takeaway, and what would you implement tomorrow if you could?
I would say the main takeaway is that this kind of panel is so popular, you know, that there are so many different issues, opportunities for collaboration, data sharing, technology sharing. We can help each other, and there's a lot of groups here, including the farmers themselves, who want to do that. It seems to me the biggest hurdle continues to be, at least in many parts of the world, is land ownership or control of land, which means credit, financial, stability, those kinds of things. So if I was queen for the day, I would just do my one and say, every woman who wants to own land, inherit land, has that right and the ability to do so.
Thank you. Faraya, what's your takeaway and your instrument if you could just decide?
Yeah, quick takeaway. I think numbers matter, clearly. But let's go beyond the numbers. What are the numbers telling us? What do we need to do? And that's where the action needs to happen. And if I were to wave a magic wand and change things, what I would change is representation. We don't see enough women, especially in agri-food systems policy spaces, and we saw that during the first day. And
Okay.
it's not just Kenya.
Thank you, Freya. Now we get to Angeline.
Yes. Okay, so one key takeaway. As a woman, I am the change. And then together, we make the change to happen. So we need to work together. And let's start with the household as an institution. One of the things that I heard is that there are so many policies that are gender transformative, and they're gathering dust in the parliaments. They are not implemented. How can we empower the women producer groups and cooperatives to undertake social accountability work, to understand those policies, and then be in a position to engage with the policymakers and monitor delivery of those public services? Thank you.
Thank you. Kati.
Thank you very much. As a message, actually, he was referred to the numbers and statistics, and they are important. But go to find the root causes. Why there is this? Why there are not enough women as farmers and decision makers? Go and find the root causes, because they might be different in different countries. And one change, Valerie already said, change of mindset, change of attitude. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of diversity.
Thank you. Now the last one, Valerie.
Thank you. My key takeaway from today is that there is need for intentional structural change that encompasses everything we have been talking about today. And if I would change just one thing, then I would give women equal decision-making power.
Okay. Thank you very much. A big applause for your contributions and for the very fruitful discussion. So we had 1 hour. We needed just a few minutes later, but the clock did stop. So at least we took 1 hour. And I think it's a very good used hour to give the momentum that the year of women farmers is not just 1 year, but provides opportunity of change for the long term. Thank you for all of you for your contribution, also for your contribution and for the big audience. And with this, I would close this session today. Thank you very much. And I give over to Paul.